Welcome back to the Full Fan Highlight Show. Pre-season is underway for Chelsea and Arsenal, both with draws on the night. Arsenal winning their game on penalties. Lots to delve into with both teams, I feel, as, of course, Arsenal fans and Chelsea fans, respectively, cast an eager eye over their teams with the Premier League only 3 weeks away. I repeat, 3 weeks away from beginning. We are sponsored this evening by StocksFC, and we've got a big announcement coming when it comes to StocksFC. A huge player IPO being released Thursday, today, the 25th of July. More to come on that later, but make sure you scan the QR code, get signed up to your account, claim your free stocks as well. More to come a little bit later on that. I want to start with Arsenal, actually, and I'm going to go into Chelsea a little bit later in the show, and you'll understand why I'm going to do that. I want to start with Arsenal and say, look, and I'm going to be fair to both teams tonight. Pre-season is pre-season. It is mostly about fitness. It is mostly about getting your players up to scratch. It really is. And Arsenal sort of had, it was a typical pre-season game for Arsenal tonight. They had moments where they looked really good, especially when they brought on Odegaard, Trossard, Gabriel Jesus as an example. But of course, there were also vulnerabilities because the vast majority, barring Ben White, of their backline, and the hub of their midfield in the second half just wasn't there. So, of course, you're not going to look perfect. So anyone sitting again, why didn't Arsenal look perfect? Well, we know how good Arsenal can be. We know how much better they're going to get over the course of pre-season. I would expect them to look better against Manchester United on Saturday night or Sunday morning, depending on where you are in the world. Watching this, what I was intrigued tonight when it comes to Arsenal was to look out for and watch and sort of scout as a rival, really, some of their young up-and-coming players. And Nawari is one of them, who I thought had a really comfortable, a good game, and he played a number of positions in the match as well, which demonstrated his versatility. But I also think if he's given some game time and some opportunities with players whom, and I want to make sure I say this in the right way, but with players of better quality. So I liked watching him when Odegaard was on the pitch, just to see how he interacted, how he played alongside him. Could he cope technically with that type of football player? And I thought he absolutely could. I think Arsenal, look, they conceded a goal tonight. They'll be disappointed because it was one of the luckiest, flukiest goals you're ever going to see in your life. Solanke, though, did create some opportunity, did have some openings and some chances. But overall, we know what Arsenal are going to become. We saw Man City lose last night 4-3 to Celtic, and no one is going to start panicking and worrying. I think when it comes to Chelsea's, when it comes to Man United's, I think our pre-seasons are a little different because we're looking to start seeing an improvement in the football, an improvement in the shape. We know that Arsenal's is going to come together because they've been a very competent, a very together team for the past couple of years. And yes, it most certainly was a fluky goal. Terry, could you? No, I'm all right. I'm all right, because what I do when I have to get up for these early games is I go to bed at like 9:30. 10 p.m. the night before, get 4, 5, 6 hours sleep, get up and work, and then I go back to bed. It's I feel good. I didn't stay up all night. Jesus Christ. I'm not enough. I probably will Saturday because the Man United Arsenal game's at 1 a.m. UK time, and then it's the UFC. So I'll be up all night because that's different levels. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, look, we said the other day that we're going to be covering a number of the preseason games this year, because I like to know what rivals are doing. I like to know how they're looking. And I think when it comes to talking about previewing the season, you can't do a good job if you haven't watched any of the preseason games. As I've stated, the fitness is the most important thing. But there are things to be taken from preseason. And I think for Arsenal fans, the question I wanted to ask you this evening is, which young players stood out for you tonight where you think, okay, I see a player in there. Okay, I see someone that could develop. Because for me, and I want to make sure I don't forget his name, because I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm going to end up saying it wrong because I'm stupid sometimes. But is it Lewis Skelly? Lewis Skelly? I think he played in the left-back role tonight for Arsenal. I really liked him. I thought he looked good. I thought he looked potent. I thought he looked very competent on the ball. I thought he looked composed. But Arsenal fans, what young players is it for you that sort of stood out where you think, I want to see more of them? I'm seeing here Salah. Ethan is what the scroll has got to say. You are not stupid. No, I hope I'm not stupid. Lewis Skelly and Nawari. Yeah, look, I agree. Both of them look very, 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 very good tonight. I like both of them. Lewis Skelly and Nawari are the truth. Salah, a few people saying Salah. Interesting. Good morning, guys. Arsenal looked absolutely magnificent this morning, but for Chelsea, I think Chelsea needs serious work. Let's move on to Chelsea. Let's move on to Chelsea because I'm going to keep the same energy that it's preseason and it's about fitness first and foremost. So I'm not going to suddenly start changing my tune and having an agenda. Man United's first preseason game, we played Rosenborg, but that first game was, how do I say it? We had 2, maybe 3 of our first team squad available that day. There's a couple of youngsters, but I would argue that at that whole squad, you might only see 4 or 5 people used in the first team squad for the whole season. By the second game, we looked much better with more of our first team there. I think in the first half, Chelsea looked good. They looked comfortable in possession. I'm not sure whether the Chelsea players have got together with the new shape, with the 3-4-3. It was so interesting, and I think it will change when they get their players back, when Caicedo and Enzo and everybody return, because watching Reece James and then Gusto play central midfield with other individuals kind of playing in the right full-back wing role was weird to me. They're right backs. Do they have the competency on the ball against the bigger and better teams? They're playing a League One side tonight. So I think the Chelsea players had to get, the shape was giving them problems. But I thought in the first half, they were the better team. They got caught on the break a couple of times, but I thought Tosin looked comfortable. I thought Disasi looked comfortable. Lavia, again, didn't do anything extravagant, but just looked comfortable in the game. I quite liked Nkunku tonight. I really liked Nkunku. Took his opportunity well. Clinical when he had the opportunities to be. I thought Madueke on the right-hand side, when he kept his width, when he ran at his fullback, I thought he was really potent. The second half came, and I think one thing that it exposed is a lot of the names on that pitch who Chelsea and a lot of Chelsea fans have said are part of our squad and a part of our future. They're not ready yet. Preseason or no preseason, the struggle was there. You could see it. Chelsea looked a mess in the second half. Full honesty, exactly the same as Man United did in the second half against Rosenborg. And I would say the same thing. Most of those young players on the pitch in that second half will never be regular first teamers for Manchester United Football Club. And they found themselves 2-1 down. And although people say, but Terry, you've said before, it's just pre-season. I stand by that. But we know what the media are going to do if Chelsea don't start winning games, even in pre-season. They're going to be on Maresca. And that pressure, and by the way, some of the Chelsea fans will be doing that. And that pressure can seep into a dressing room. Like I've said, Arsenal can have a bad game or two in pre-season. So can City. But everybody knows how good they are in reality. When it comes to Chelsea, my club, Man United, are in the same boat. The pressure is going to mount if our pre-season games don't have large elements of positivity around them. So look, I think overall, it's not the official first game of Maresca. I think it's there was some nice 1-touch and 2-touch football. I understand what he's trying to do with the shape. I think you can judge it much more when he gets his players back. I don't think Gusto and I don't think Reece James will be playing in that position. As an example, I do still think they need to go and buy more up front. Mark, I think it's Gui. Is it Gui? Who started up front. Look, I thought he was comfortable on the ball. Runs were very, very good. Really good pressing from him. But young and naive and will need time. There's a rawness to him. I think they need to invest. And by the way, what could also never happen again is Chilwell and Sterling on that right-hand side, left-hand side. I mean, Chilwell playing at centre-back and then Sterling kind of playing in a wing-back position. Yeah, just don't do it. Like, they need to improve in that front line. They really, really do. They need to get their balance right. But I'm sure, look, it's one game. Anyone writing off Modesto at this point, you might end up being right, but you're guessing at this particular juncture, in my opinion. Lots of work for Chelsea to do, though, is what I would say in terms of getting ready for the start of this season. But I also think there's been a massive overreaction online. I put out a tweet saying Chelsea fans' thoughts on Modesto's first game. And even some of the salty reactions towards me tell me that those Chelsea fans are overreacting. Some talking about how it's awful, we're never going to get any better. And again, I'll say that, and I'll say it with chest. I think that's an absolute exaggeration at this particular juncture. Now, I want to shout out our title sponsors tonight, StocksFC, and there's something special that we want to tell you about. Here is the trading platform, as you can see. I'm going to hit the login button myself. This is going into my particular account. You can see him right there. The new IPO this week, coming out at 2 p.m. UK time on Thursday the 25th, Christopher Nkunku. I'm telling you now, I am investing stock in this young man. I am investing stock in this young man. I believe that he's a quality player. And those share prices at 89 cents, I think could pay huge, huge dividends. Now, the question is, ladies and gentlemen, do Chelsea fans back Nkunku? And this is why I love partnering with StocksFC. Because everybody says, I've got stocks in him. I've got stocks in him. Bruv, I've got stocks in him. Do you really? Do you really? Are you willing to put your money where your mouth is? Now, as ever, don't use your rent money, your mortgage money, money to feed your children, money that you need to get to work, disposable income only. Start small, build your plan, slowly build out your portfolio. That is exactly what I did, or I'm doing as it is. But tomorrow, or today, I suppose, at 2 p.m., it might be tomorrow if you're watching in other parts of the world, and Nkunku's IPO gets released. And I want to let everyone know as well, if you're signing up, I can't reveal who, but in around 3 weeks' time, the two biggest IPO releases in the history of StocksFC are coming out. Two of the biggest names in Premier League football are coming out. So get yourself signed up now. You can scan the QR code or click on our link in the description. But Chelsea fans tuning in, Christopher Nkunku, are you putting your money where your mouth is? I've got Matt and Egal coming on with me now to have their say. If you feel like calling in, I'll also share the link in the live comment section for you, my people, because you are the football terrorist more so than me, really. Well, kind of. Yeah, you get me. You get me. Make sure you call in, people. Freddie Adu stocks. Yeah, a lot of people would have bought. Well, I don't actually think people rated him that highly back in the day, not in England, but there we go. Is it available in the USA? I think so. Go and check it out. If it isn't working, I'll speak to the people that run it. I mean, it's a really cool organization. And if you're a little bit worried about it, go on their website and go and check out their white paper. It's on one of their options, and it explains a lot of the questions that you may have about, is it similar to other platforms? What if I have problems? And they are very open and honest, as I am. If you buy stock in players that don't perform, you're probably going to lose money. So, you know, that's an option. But and no one's lying to you about that. But yeah, go check it out. Egal is here with me. Matt is here with me. Welcome, gentlemen. Good morning, I should say, as well. It's almost 6 a.m. here in the UK. Egal, give me your thoughts on your team today, brother.
First of all, it's preseason. I think people need to calm down and with all the you shouldn't care too much about wins or losses. You should care more about who's looking up to scratch, who's looking ready for the season. And this is basically just a warm-up. So I think looking at Man City's loss, looking at Chelsea's draw today, Arsenal's draw, it doesn't really mean any negative depending on the season. So people need to chill from there. As for the performances, I thought there were some mixed performances. First, I'll start with some of the negatives. I thought Omar Rekik doesn't look like he's ready for this level. He looked very slow, and at times I think he was at fault for the goal also. Karl Hein helps us win the penalty shootout, but of course I felt like he could have done better at times, but this should maybe get him a loan away from the club. Eddie Nketiah wasn't as good either. But when it comes to shining lights in the game, I thought Odegaard came on in the second half. He looked good. I thought Salah looked okay as an academy kid who didn't get much opportunities. Issa Nawari and Miles Lewis-Skelly. I thought that right-hand side with them two and the left-hand side with them two and Reece Nelson looked quite dangerous. And no surprise, Reece Nelson helped create the goal for Fabio Vieira. And beautiful strike, by the way, and good creativity from Reece Nelson there for his goal. So hopefully that can get him alone also. It was kind of sad to see that Emil Smith-Rowe wasn't given an opportunity to play because he's moving out on he's moving to Fulham very soon. So that happened also. But overall, it's the first preseason game. To see the boys get a good kickabout and show and some of the young players showing their opportunities. This is what the preseason is going to be the whole season, and it was nice to see. I didn't think Partey or Timber looked ready yet, but I expect them to get match fitness and ready for the regular season. But yeah, overall, I'm not disappointed with the performance because I expected a mixed performance for their first preseason game.
Yeah, no, I agree. Sorry, but my dog, he was outside barking to come in.
Your dog's huge, bro.
He is. Come here, Rocky. Come say hello. You can jump up. There we go. Hello. Yeah, he's a big boy. He's a big boy, is Rocky. Aren't you, Rocco?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, listen, I agree. Pre-season is, as you say, is predominantly about fitness, but I do think there's an element where you want to look at do certain play. Like we had it last year with Kobbie Mainoo. We watched him in pre-season and you could see he's ready for that step up. You know, we've had young Toby Collier that looks ready. You've got a couple of youngsters. I thought the Skelly, as you mentioned, Nawari, they stood out to me personally, and I thought there's players in there, if that makes sense. And I know that Arsenal fans all want to see new signings, and I think with Smith-Rowe now looking like he's absolutely gone, know, Reece Nelson, that deal looks like it will probably happen with a loan with obligation. Eddie Nketiah. You've obviously got other young players now that you will buy more people in the market, but it looks like you've got 2 or 3 youngsters that you can equally promote, which I think does 2 things. It saves you some money, which I think is important, but also on top of that, aside from saving money, they already know the Arsenal way. They already understand the system. They already know how Mikel Arteta wants to play. So that integration can be a little bit easier, if that makes sense. So yeah, I think that's important.
And I think, Terry, you always mention this, dead banter. People just want to banter Man City because the season hasn't started and they're trying to get their shots in. Chelsea drawing. You're not going to see me bantering Chelsea. I thought for their first preseason game, there was moments where you could see something. Just don't panic. It's just a preseason game. Obviously, the manager hasn't worked long with these players, so there's going to be a lot of opportunity for growth.
No, I agree. And I think the same with Chelsea. I think the only difference between Chelsea and Arsenal is that we know what Arsenal will more than likely become when your first team is there. We don't know that with Chelsea because we haven't seen any evidence of it under Maresca. But again, I think there's some areas to criticize. And I think that, there's some elements where Chelsea fans will say, well, we don't want to see Sterling and Chilwell in that position again. I think once Caicedo and Enzo and the like come back, straight away for me, preseason or no preseason, just like I think we've learned with Trent Alexander-Arnold, you can't play these right backs in midfield. I think they can invert into midfield. I don't think they can start there as an example. But I do agree. I think that there's being a slight overreaction online to Chelsea. I really, really do. Matt, hello. Good morning. Are you there, Matt? Are you not coming back? We'll go to...
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello, Matt. Yes, go on, speak to us.
Yo, I just want to say, before I say anything on the game, big up Terry for, staying up UK time. You know how it is. I'm literally just chilling in the caravan park. But I watched the game in my car, and, a lot of things stood out to me. One, there's a car coming. 1 second.
Respect to international fans, by the way.
So one thing was, I think Egal touched upon it, that I think it's called Relic, I think his name is. He does not look ready for this level. He was at fault for the goal and he was a bit sloppy. I actually disagree with Egal on Timber and Partey. I mean, on Partey, fair enough. But on Timber, I actually thought he was head and shoulders the best player on the pitch. He was so composed. He made such brilliant passes. He didn't really lose the ball. You know, he created a few chances. And I think, you know, yeah, like he was literally the best player on the pitch.
Sorry,
Yeah,
you said Timber?
I thought
I
Timber.
can literally wax lyrical over Ethan Waneri. You know, we all know what a talent he is, and he's literally on the verge of breaking into the first team squad. But the youngster that really stood out to me was Salah. I had seen him in the highlights of the behind closed doors game, and I actually thought he played pretty well in that game. And in this game, he kind of surprised me, to be honest. His touches, his decision making, all very top. Yeah. I've not really got much else to say, but I will definitely be looking forward to the Man United game, Terry.
Yeah, I am. I wanted to ask about Timber. So I must have missed it because my dog was making noise. You weren't impressed with Timber, Egal. Is that what was said?
No, I was just saying there's certain senior players that I thought at times they weren't fully up to scratch. Like obviously he had good moments.
Oh, okay.
But I thought Thomas Partey and Timber looked like two players that were trying to get themselves still back up to the levels where Odegaard came in and he just looked like he never missed a beat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
Partey, I do agree with, because I think, you know, sloppy passes, you know, especially that pass where it led to a corner, that sort of pass, you know, is unacceptable from you know, a senior player of Partey. But then again, you know, it is pre-season. But like, I didn't really see too much from Timber, like in terms of faults or mistakes, to be honest.
Fair. I thought Timber. I wasn't pointing it out in the sense of saying he had a bad game. I was just saying some of the senior players in the team. I thought there were two of the players that you could look at and say, you know what, they aren't fully there yet, but still, it's expected with Timber missing almost the whole entire year last year.
You know, that's fair enough.
Yeah, look,
I also wanted to say.
Sorry, let me just jump in.
Sorry, you go ahead, Terry.
Yeah, sorry, Matt. I was wanting to say I don't think Timber and Partey had like the most amazing games. But I agree with Gal. I think they played well, but it's just finding their feet, and that's why I don't think you can read too much into it, especially with Timber because he's had such a long time out. But I did agree. Odegaard came in and just looked like he hadn't been away. He was creating that touch. That there was a ball that was hit crossed that was slightly overhit. And he brought it out of the air and did sort of a back flick to play Ben White in. And you just think to yourself, doing that in pre-season is just ridiculous. Big up Staffy, by the way, tuning in. He says winning in pre-season isn't for everyone. Well, we didn't win our first pre-season game, but there we go. We'll leave that there. We'll leave it there. And yeah, big up to the international fans as well. I echo what you said, Egal, because a lot of Brits give foreign and international fans a bit of a hard time when, oh, you just, yes, you get up at 3 a.m, but you're just sitting on your bed, then you can go back to bed. But it isn't as simple as that, is it? Because people have work and jobs and lives, and if you're getting up at stupid o'clock in the morning to watch a game, your whole day is then impacted by it, as we feel in pre-season. So no, I totally agree. And again, for all the sort of mindless Brits that don't respect the international fans, the reason that most of our clubs have the money that we do and the size that we do and the scope that we do and the financial clout that we do is because of the international fans. So yeah, put some respect on their names. 110%. Eli's here. What you saying, bro? Elijah, sorry, I misread the name.
Morning, Terry, how are you?
Yeah, I'm very well. Obviously, you're a Chelsea fan. What do you want to say?
Yeah, I mean, 2-2. I mean, I'm not packing in just yet because, like you said, pre-season is all about fitness and also seeing if the players are ready to play in the Premier League, if you know what I mean. So I'm not going to panic just yet. All I'm going to say is that there's a lot of work to do, but in the first half, we were good. You know, we created so many chances. It could have been more than 1-0 at half time. You know, the likes of Madueke with the chance and all that stuff. But, you know, I thought we were good. I thought Lavia was superb. I thought Tosin looked composure as a defender. I thought our back three in the first half, Badiashile and also Disasi were really good. And I thought... I forgot this guy. His name starts with a G. Is it Gui or something like that? Terry?
Yeah, I forget how it's
Yeah,
pronounced now, but yeah,
yeah,
yes,
I
him.
don't know, but I thought his movement was good and he caused a threat. So I thought he was really good. So yeah, the first half was good. In the second half, we looked a bit shaky. And Wex and both our goals came from us losing the ball in possession. The first one was the midfield. I think it was it Carney or somebody that lost the ball there, and then on the left hand side, I don't know what Bencher was doing, but he looked absolutely horrendous for that goal, allowing that much space, for Wrexham to score. Then the second goal, again, we lost the ball in the defense, and guess what happened? Boom, in the back of the net for Wrexham. But the second goal that we scored, I thought it was really good. One touch football. Brochure passed the ball straight to Leslie Kuchuku, took his chance, boom, made it 2-2. So that was really good. So for me, I'm not going to get over panicked, but I think Chelsea fans, I saw a lot of them saying Wesco out, and I'm like, seriously? After one game, I
No,
just,
they're
I just
trolling.
think
They're
I give
trolling.
up this fan base. I just really give up. But listen, I'm not angry. I'm not gonna overreact because it's pre-season, but there's still a lot of things to do. But like you said, Tui, Marco Cuellar, Cole Palmer, Trevor Chalobah, knowing that scored. So when they come back, I don't believe we're going to see that Weiss James in the midfield, Connie Chukwuemeka of the right-hand side. We're not going to see that. So I think Chelsea fans need to stop panicking because pre-season. We just have to see what Enzo Maresca can do. Maybe he could change the tactics, or maybe keep the same. But this is first game, so we need to stop panicking.
No, mate, you're absolutely spot on. Sorry, I walked away. My dog was doing something, and my dog has chewed one of my phone panels off the wall to stop the echo. He literally started chewing it off the wall.
That's what
The
you're
thing
playing.
is, normally he sleeps in here, but he's only just woke up and he's in a playful mood and he wants to chew everything. And now he's staring at me as if to say, "Well, what have I done wrong, Daddy?" But he's a lovely boy. But he's a big boy and he chews he was fine. Like first 9 months I had him, no issues. The last 2 weeks, he started chewing walls and everything. It's like, why? Yeah, adolescence. But there we go. Got to be trained more. But no, I agree. I think Chelsea fans are massively overreacting, my friend. I absolutely agree with you on that. I really, really do.
I'm gonna head off.
No worries, bro. Nilson's with us. What you saying, Nilson?
Yeah, I'm good, Terry. Yeah, it was a good game. I'm happy that Lewis Kelly performed. He did really well. A player that I've been hyping a lot. Moneri as well. Put his name into the manager sports. Hopefully that when the season starts, he can actually do something. So yeah, I'm really happy about the young players that actually did really well. That I've been following them, and I know that they're good enough, and now they're actually showing it. So I'm really happy about that.
Hang on. My dog is eating the wall. Hang on. Rocky, stop eating my walls, please. Stop. I'm gonna let the dog out. 1 second. You're gonna go. Come on. You've got to go. He's eating my wall. What you got in your mouth? What's that? There you go. There you go. Well, that's not happening again. But there we go. Yeah, he's been hooked. He's literally eaten a whole panel off the wall. Like, people like, Terry, why are you laughing? Like, I was watching him just do it. I should have stopped him. He ate it, and he even took a bit with him out into the garden. So fine. I hope he doesn't choke, though. Yeah, Nielsen, I don't know what his signal was saying there, but there we go. There's a few super chats here. First one says, Terry, go back to bed. You need more rest. I'm good, Victor. I'm good, my bro. What on earth are you doing online at this early hour, Terry? Working. That's all I can say. It's my job. Appreciate you staying up, Terry. About to be midnight where you are. No problem, Joshua Jack. Appreciate how early you all tune into me all the time. Is stocks available in the USA? I think so. Go and check it out. If not, use a VPN. Use a VPN. That's what you got to do is use a VPN. Need more terrace at this time. Not every day UK time shows. Yeah and no. Yeah and no. We've got some plans, Staffy, as you know, and more to come on that. Look, I want to say a big thank you to everybody that has tuned in this morning. I know it's very, very early or very, very late for some of you around the world. We're back later today with transfer stories. We've got the top 6 show at 6 p.m. UK time as well. So make sure you're all tuning in for that. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again very, very soon. Peace. I need to go and find this dog.